Okay. Hello and happy Thursday. Welcome to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network Radio, TV, and podcast. #1 Internet Singles Talk Network. Your Health Vibes with Elana. And today I am your host, Elana, with Your Health Vibes with Elana. And today, my journey is to raise your heart, body, and soul vibes to the next level so you can transform your life today. And my guest is, we've had him on before, the one, the only, my dad, and my sister's dad too. So give a shout out to my sister, not only mine, but Rob Feldman and my mom's husband, and best friend. This is Rob Feldman, past president of Jewish Family and Children's Services. He's also today president of Jazz Angels. And today, our conversation is having a hard chat, prostate cancer diagnosis, and being a warrior. And speaking of being a warrior, before we start everything, I want to celebrate good times. Come on, 10 years, cancer-free. Come on, here we go. Celebrate good times. Come on. I'm so excited for you, Dad. All right.
All right, here we go.
Here we go. Yay, Dad.
Pretty humbling experience. I'll let Elana take over now.
So Dad, I would love for you to kind of tell your story, talk about what we're celebrating. And today, kind of, our #1 thing is having a hard chat. So, here's my dad, the one, the only, Robert Walter Feldman.
Hey, now you know my middle name, everybody. So here's the deal. 10 years ago, when there's all kinds of cancer in the world, everybody. And I think too, this was 10 years ago. I was 61 years old, and loving life. I still love life every day. You'll hear that in my conversation, what I'm going to talk about a little bit later. But I think what's interesting is, you don't think this will ever happen to you. You don't think that life, I don't care how old you get, how young you are, we are invincible against disease like this. I'm today still happy, healthy. I like to use the word cheat. I've cheated a lot of things, and this is not for this conversation today, but for everybody to know. I did something stupid. I fell off a rolling chair and almost went to the other side of the world.
And what do you have now?
And then I have titanium. And no need to go into the whole thing. So then 2 years ago, I had a heart attack as well. And it's very hard to even say the word heart attack. And for those of you who are listening or who know us, we're crazy Dodger fans, and it started at the Dodger game. I'll leave it at that. But that's not for this discussion. So when I think one of the things that has really helped me through all this stuff is having a partner, having somebody and family that supports you to no end. When you talk about, Elana was saying about hard chats, you got to have a hard chat with yourself. And you kind of, it becomes almost very humbling to be a part of what we're talking about, to be part of that group. When I said that the hard chat, you got to have a hard chat with yourself first. And the hard chat is, oh my gosh, is this really happening? What's going on? We had to go to the urologist first and do all the tests, and they do a biopsy. And when it came back, it really, threw me for a loop. I said, people who know me know that I'm constantly smiling and up, and that's the way I have to live my life. If I don't live it that way, I don't care what's going on in my life, it won't work for me. I have dear friends that are saying we've got a few years left, and I can't live that way. Mm-hmm. But with that said, I had the hard chat with myself. I was more worried about telling the family than me. You all know Elana is sensitive, and her sister very, but she's very, okay, let's go. And then, because of course Deb knew, and I have to give her a shout out in the middle of this. Without her, I might not still be here. So with that said, again, so the hard chat we had with the family, and then we started on our journey to do. We went to places like I went all the way to City of Hope, which and it's not an advertisement for them, but that's what they specialize. That's what they do. You go and you put on the white thing that says you're part of the hospital, and they treat you like $1 million, $2 million. It's like you're the only patient there, and you go through literally everything and anything, any test to see if it's spread, any test that's there, all kinds of things like that.
Now, let me stop you with that.
Vanessa.
With deciding where you're going to go, since there are so many places and so many things. I know you said City of Hope, but what really made you make that decision of, showing up for you and making that choice, because there are going to be on that journey, and because there are so many options, what guided you the most to that?
And there are options. I think that everybody, when and listen good, with prostate cancer, they said, oh, it's the easiest cancer to detect, and it's the easiest one to get better, and this and that. It's still cancer. It's still a C word. I could not believe that C word. I say it all the time now. That's just part of my life. And what happens is it goes to the next level, you all, especially with men. Oh my God, I'm going to lose my manlyhood. I can't do anything. I can't, there's all kinds of things that start going through your head. And you have to listen. When I did the research at City of Hope, we have a cousin that is involved with Concern,
Mm-hmm.
and he's the one that suggested it, because all the monies that go to City of Hope go to the patients, to study
Mm-hmm.
all of the various ways of prostate cancer, and it's certainly changed since 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But then it starts getting into. You want to ask me about the psychological?
Yeah, I will in a second.
Okay, but that's why we picked City of Hope, and they were real honest. Again, a very humbling experience. It's almost like it's an out-of-body experience when you sit there and listen to the treatment and how you're going to do things and what you're going to do. And for those of you who don't know, the marketing of it out there says, well, you're 61, you'll pass before it affects you. But at 61, I asked the question to the doctor right away, is it going to go away? The doctor said, no, it's not going to go away. It might be slow growing, it might be whatever. I'm not going to get into the scientific part of it, but I was at the margins of my prostate where we were worried that it was going to go outside of me, and that would have really been problematic. So with Deb and family and everybody made the conscious decision to say, okay, remove it, done. I mean, has it changed my life? Absolutely. I'm not going to go into the personal stuff of what goes on, between husband and wife, which is the great stuff, but on the romantic side of things. But don't ever think that you can't do that. That's the biggest thing.
And so I kind of want to add into that, because of all this, my dad has been a big part, because I do work. I'm a cancer exercise specialist. And with that, I'm going to be having a group navigating prostate cancer, emotional support for men. And, so many times it's always like men, and having that hard conversation with a female, showing up differently because I think of culture, because of what we're taught, and so many things. So you've been such an inspiration to know that we can have these hard conversations, as hard as it is, the male to female. Even though we're a father-daughter, it's also showing that that's how we need to show up. So I'm going to be running an amazing support and emotional group because of just, you've been such an inspiration. So leading into that, we need that emotional support. So, what are some of the psychological and emotional barriers that prevent people from, having these hard chats and showing up for themselves, because it does really take a toll?
It does take a toll. I didn't expect it to take a toll. I get emotional now after 10 years. When I did the 10-year last week at City Hope, they all stood up and clapped, and I was like, "What?" I mean, it really, but the psychological thing, you think about it the rest of your life. I don't care what anybody says. So the difference of what Elena's saying about male and female is a lot, we've been programmed as males to be strong and to be, it doesn't mean you're any less strong, any weak, because you have prostate cancer. There's nothing wrong with that. So there's so much out there that says, hey, take this pill, take this magic the potion, and you're going to be, you're going to be good. Well, there was no magic potion. We really made, so for all you out there who are thinking about it, I have some acquaintances that said, oh no, I'm fine. I'll wait. I'm not going to do anything because I'm so worried about my manlyhood. And I'll be honest, they were dead in a year. And that's just, I have too much to do. And that's why I've done all this stuff and doing it. And I'm not afraid. What's the worst thing somebody can say to me? I don't want to talk about it. So psychologically, you have to get through your mind that you're going to still be fine and you're still here. I'll be 72 in October. And again, living life to the fullest because I went through the steps and the way to do it. And I had, and again, support. It's very tough, you guys. You don't always have the support that you want. So a group like Elena's going to do here soon would get a group of people together that will allow them to express their feelings in a setting that they'll feel good about. It's very tough. There's a lot going on out there. Mentally, physically. Our world is, let's be honest, it's a crazy world. This is not to get political in any way, but it is just a crazy world.
And breaking the barriers of talking male and female, and only males can show up that way. Why do you think it's important to have hard chats with, other people than just,
because
typical of what it should be?
Well, it's tough too, because men, we don't get that emotional. Sometimes we do. As we get older, I do. Go back again to the mental aspect of it. It can play tricks on you. You just don't need to have that in your back pocket. I felt for me, the more open I was, the more honest I was, the easier I was able to do with it. And here I am 10 years later, 100%.
And I think being an advocate, educating, before we go into that, my fiance is giving us a shout out. He says, good morning. So happy to see you too. What an important conversation. And I think exactly what it is, having that conversation is so important, educating, so how can people prepare themselves emotionally for these hard chats? Like, we get that anxiety or stress that sometimes we project because we want to share this information, but we don't know how to show up and deliver it.
Well, I think that I talk about support, and hopefully the men who get it or do have a best friend or have a good friend or still have a parent around that, can listen. And that's the key here. You have to listen to your body. You have to listen to what people are saying. That's why, people say, well, do you enjoy doing it? It's not a matter of enjoy. We all need to know how this progresses in life. And they'll continue to do the research. They'll continue to come up with avenues. I don't know if they'll come up with a cure for prostate cancer, but it's certainly much, 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 much more efficient now. Which is now the way to do it. I went through the robotic operation, so they were able to save some of the nerves. They were able to do some great stuff.
Can you maybe tell just a few about that and why kind of you chose that, and just for a few moments?
Sure. So it's hard to say on a public.
To what you can say. You can say whatever vibes. Really anything goes.
100 years ago, when all this came out, they would open your whole stomach, take everything out, and then it would take a lot longer to get back to life. Right. This way does not. So you have to have discussions with your partner, your friend, your best friend, whoever you're with, male, female, if you're two males, that kind of thing. And it allows you to have that hard chat that we've been talking about all morning and saying, here's what we're going to do.
Right.
I don't believe we can worry whether you can be romantic or not, because there's 100 ways to anywhere that you can still have fun with your partner or your friend or whoever you're with.
Yeah.
You really can. I'm testament to it, and Deb would be too. And that's really all I'm going to say on a public
Yeah.
station. But don't let that deter you from getting done what has to be done.
So with this robotic surgery, why did you choose that, and what did it save or help, or what made it stand out then?
Well, the nerves
Yeah.
in your system. I don't, you're able to heal quicker, faster. Your body thanks you for, saving the nerves and doing that kind of stuff like that, because years ago they didn't have that available.
Right. Because you can still ride a bike, you can still do everything that
I couldn't do that for a while.
But now you can
everything
with everything.
Yeah, playing tennis, I'm doing. I mean, it's all kinds of good stuff. So
well, that having these so not only with that, what is something else that I think having you on here, one thing that was really great is life lessons, and I've learned so many life lessons from you that I've been able to show up and help me. So can you maybe share with us some great things that you would like, and also, even if it's just one thing, you just take what resonates, take what shows up. We're not here to say, this is how you do it, what feels good with you. And you can always reach out to us and showing up, because it is hard. And I can say in this scenario, I can't relate personally because I'm not a male, but I can relate empathetically because my father has gone through this, showing up that way. So know that you are not alone, and having hard conversations is hard, but we can do it. So Dad.
And we can, and there's all kinds of, I think it goes even further than just a hard chat about prostate cancer.
Yeah,
all kinds of cancers that are out there. Elena's right. I mean, take something every day, and you could be in, with your head between your legs and still push something out. I mean, it's very difficult, but that's what I had to do for me. And that's why I'd like being an advocate for other men that are out there. And I've actually talked to a bunch, that have followed their own path. And then we all talk about it. And it's not that they thank me. It's not the point. It's just, it's out there. We've got to be public about it. I refuse to believe that, oh, well, it'll slow growth and you'll pass before it does. And we've seen too many people go.
Yeah.
Because of it.
Why do you think that people are so afraid to talk about it or having these hard conversations? We'll talk about the life lessons, but that kind of just came up with the girl. But what are, some things, because here it is, we all are different. We want our light, we want our dark, being positive, but embracing both and understanding like it's okay to have these feelings, but how do you want to show up and what vibe, energy? It's not changing who you are, because you're still Dad and you're still that person, but what,
I think what was, again, I use the word humble. It's a very humbling experience. And if you can be humble about it, but yet, if I could just pull something positive from it, everybody goes, cancer, well, it's not positive. No, it's not. But, I'm still here. I had to, for my own self, worth, my own being. I thought all kinds of things, you all. I thought, oh my God, I'm not good enough anymore. I'm not this. I got, cancer. Why did I become this like this? But, I use the word statistic because that's what it is now. I mean, I've done it. I did what I had to do. I go once a year, get checked. And I have other friends who I'm very close to a same kind of thing. And they've done, and they have, had it removed, and they're all doing very well. And then you're going to say, well, there's some that don't. Yeah, there are some that don't.
Right.
But there are absolute ways, take advantage of Elena's group. Take advantage of who you are and what you are. I mean, I think that's very important out there.
And also one thing to show that I think too, what you show us is not allowing it to define. You're not Rob who had prostate cancer. Who are you? To show up as that, because I think we always allow sometimes something to define us, and we don't want to allow that. So having that hard chat, showing too, that that's not you, and to play the martyr of what it is.
Well, that's very true. And I think the addendum to that, it's they're two completely different things. But
Right.
to sit here, well, because I'm going to say, so having a heart attack 2 years ago, to say those, I still even going, heart, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
There's just no way. And
Right.
by the way, it was plaque that fell into the Widowmaker. And you talk about support from the group and support from my family, support from everything. And I'm here, I'm 100%, no damage, no disease.
Right.
So,
really fast, I'm going to stop you
yeah.
with support, and then I'll have you go. Vicky is a rock star. Vicky is amazing. She says it's so important to share our experience with cancer to help others. Thank you for being so open. Thank you, Vicky. Vicky is one of the most amazing cheerleaders, warrior. She is a warrior herself. The way she shows up, the way she inspires others, has inspired me to do what I do. So thank you, and I love you, Vicky. So, Dad.
Okay. So that kind of thing, I think that we can't be afraid. You can be afraid at first, but seek people out that either have had it or you feel comfortable with,
right,
and be able to tell them what you're doing and how you're doing it.
So even if you're not comfortable, so going back to having the hard chat, sharing that, I know we say we want to find that, but having that hard chat, sometimes you have to do things that are uncomfortable, correct?
Absolutely. I mean, and now I laugh about it because you're in with your doctor and they're doing the biopsy. Okay, I can tell. And you turn over on your rear end, and they're sticking a sting and you're going, are you kidding me? But then you gotta laugh about it. I mean,
would you rather that than
your mother was in the room and she almost fainted. I mean, but you learn, if you go through it together, or if you have the fortunate experience of having a partner, friend, or your significant other, even if you don't, seek out other people that have had it. And it's like, you'll see my number at the end. It'll be our real estate stuff, but you can certainly call me and I'll be more than happy to chat, because I have nothing, nobody has anything
to hide.
No, I have nothing to hide.
And I think that's where it is just what you've told me. You're authentic. What you get online and offline and showing up is, I think where I get a lot of expressing myself, of being honest and authentic. My dad has always said, showing up authentic, always, what energy, what you give to others, you can receive back. So
right.
With that, can you share some lessons and beautiful things that, even if it's one thing, someone.
Well, the one thing I'll say before I tell this, I always aspire to these life lessons? No, but I certainly will try. But I think the biggest thing is you see us smiling on this podcast. If you smile once a day, if you smile, if you smile, to somebody's going to smile back at you, and that will, it gives your endorphins. It gives you, just peace, knowing with the craziness in the world that there's still people out there that can do that. But so some of the things that I have, actually 10 things, but
read them all.
Practice gratitude daily. And this is no particular order. Take a moment each day to acknowledge what you're thankful for. It can improve your mood and perspective on life.
So today, what's one great?
I'm sitting here smiling, thanking myself. Here I am talking about something that I had 10 years ago. And I can sit here and talk about it. Talk about the heart attack, talk about the falling off the child. I mean, that's what you do.
Right.
And it allows me to be, I'm grateful I'm here. Are you kidding?
100%.
I have too much more to do.
Yes, you do.
So, prioritize your health. I think that's so important with what we've just been talking about. Health, in our 70s, we are prioritizing our health. Regular exercise, a balanced diet, sufficient sleep are foundational to physical and mental well-being. Now, let's face it, gang, do we always get sufficient sleep? No. Do we always get regular exercise? No. Do we drive by a donut store and go, oh my God, I got to have a donut? I love my donuts. So I afford myself a donut.
Right. Because, I think tomorrow is not promised.
No.
And showing, and also talking about health, I want to add in, we're our biggest advocates. So if we don't show up for ourselves, and, we talk about loving, if you don't, care, you're not going to love on yourself to show up.
Right.
So I think we need to be our biggest advocate because otherwise no one else will be.
Right.
Right.
And, set realistic goals. I think that all our life we've been told to, and you can certainly break down your ambitions, do achievable steps, celebrate small victories along the way. Well, we're talking about big victories today. I mean, these took a while to get to, but they're big victories, and they'll be big victories as long as I live.
Right. But small is great as well.
Oh my God. Every day. If you do
just
something.
Making your bed. I don't like to make my bed, but just because what is your rule? What is your thing about making your bed?
I love it.
Dad, what is your thing?
Well, no, you'll have to refresh me. I do have a lot of things about making the bed.
That, you show up better, you feel better just by making
making the bed. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Cultivate meaningful relationships, you all. Spend time with people who uplift you and support you. We don't need, nurture those connections with care and respect, because they're going to be the ones that are going to be here for you. That's really what it boils down to. And I have a saying of something that I've talked about for years, because this is perfect for this. You can't afford the luxury of a negative thought. You get negative thoughts that go in your head, and it starts playing games with you. And all the stuff that's here, what I did, I of course I went down the dark hole, but I was able to pull out of it. So
what's one thing when you're going down that dark hole that pulls you out of it, or what can you do? Or maybe playing your favorite song, reaching out to someone.
Right. Or I'll pick up the phone and I'll call somebody and talk to, and when I get off the phone, I feel much better. These are people that I've, had relationships most of my life, learn continuously, stay curious, open to new knowledge, whether through reading, taking up new hobbies, or engaging in thoughtful conversations, and continue to do that. Here's a good one. Practice mindfulness. Elana does it all the time with all her stuff and the crystals and the thoughts.
Look at behind us.
Right. Being present in the moment can reduce stress, because we have stress and anxiety.
Can I stop you on that? The present, please. Because I think so many times we aren't present. We're on our phones, or when we're actually talking to someone, we're engaging in what am I going to have for dinner? And what, so talking about being present, can you explain a little bit just for a second what you mean by showing up by being present?
Well, being present in the moment. I'm guilty of it too. We all have our phones. We all have our, electronics. I have my Apple Watch, and I'm guilty of it too. Yeah. But if you're in the presence, you take one thought, your overall happiness. If you want to sit and turn on the TV and watch Dodgers or something, we do. Yeah. We're saying, oh God, how can you watch TV? I said, well, that's my mindless, we still watch America's Got Talent. That's our guilty pleasure. And people go, you watch that? I said, we love it.
Yeah, you do.
So we feel good. So, that kind of stuff, that hopefully answers the question.
Yeah, it definitely does.
And I think a big thing for our whole family, for Deb, Steph, Elana, and now Tony, who's in our life, and Steph's boyfriend, Mark, give back. Volunteering, helping others in need can provide a sense of purpose and fulfillment. We are blessed to be able to give back. That's why, the moniker you see with how Elana introduced me, but just because I'm president, but we give back. I mean, right. Jazz Angels is is fabulous. Jewish Family and Children's Service, which is non-denominational, helps kids and adults and everybody that are in this. They have all kinds of groups. Elana is doing this, the new group with the prostate stuff. You feel and you feel good about it, and don't just do it because you
want the accolades. So I think so many times
they do.
We do that because that's what we think we should do, and that's what I feel like blessed too. Ever since we've been little, we even remember doing dances for kids with muscular dystrophy, and just showing up and being excited about it. It wasn't like, and what he's always said is not defining them. We're the same. I was a child, we're a 5-year-old and a 5-year-old, the same, but just because they were diagnosed with something didn't mean that they were different than me just because of that. So that's another thing that I've always loved about my parents, is how we've showed up.
And I think too that we talked about with all this cancer stuff and all the heart is the stress that it gets on your body. We're all stressed.
Yeah.
For various reasons. I don't care who you are or what you are, you're all stressed. So hopefully you can develop a coping mechanism, like turning on the TV, calling somebody, dancing like Elana does all the time, almost to a fault, okay, so but you could do meditation.
Or you like swimming,
right.
You can release in the water. It's a very
or
beautiful
play a sport or take a walk, meditation, exercise, or what we said, talking to a friend, and that really helps. And I have two more. The thing that I really aspire to is embrace positivity. Focus on the positive aspects of situations. Try to maintain an optimistic outlook even during these challenging times. And I say some people really get on me. They call me Pollyanna, but again, that's for me, only personal for me. You might handle it a different way, but people know me. People, I'm an open book. Again, and what that leads into staying true to yourself. Live authentically by aligning your actions with your values. Listen to that again. Live authentically by aligning your actions with your values. And don't be afraid to pursue what truly makes you happy. And I think that's so important. But again, I've been blessed with the support that I have in my life. I mean, without Deb, without Elana, without Steph, without Tony, it would really, it'd be a different kind of situation. So,
and if people feel, sometimes we feel alone or we can't reach out, what, I know you keep saying that, what can you really tell someone is like, you're not alone.
You are not alone. And, don't, I talk about the TV, but on the TV, they give you all kinds of, miracle cures and stuff like that. I mean, there's a thing I see that's nano knee, that the half-hour thing in your knee and you're back up playing tennis. No, it doesn't happen that way, kids. But that I bring that as an example. But where was I going? Oh, I lost my train of thought. But it's that it's that specific. Don't let all the other stuff that's out there get into your head. You get into your own head by staying true to yourself, staying who you are. And do that. That's why I think, we joke, and I must admit, we joke about both Debbie and I, because we will be 72 this year. And because you're that old, oh my God. But that's just the way we live our life. Again, personally, these are not all, I can't put that upon people. I just can't. But for us, we have a lot more to do. We had a dear friend who's no longer with us used to say, and I will tell you, because of the older age that we're getting, from the 70s to 80s is the go, go, go years. And the 80s to 90s kind of slow go. And the 90s, you kind of, we'll see what happens. But that's where, we try to, for ourselves, and we've got things to look forward to. I mean, you heard, we have a wedding next year. We have other weddings, and those are always fun and important, but this is great. So,
and WGSN-DB Going Solo Network reaches out and say, hey, Rob and Elana, want to thank you for sharing this important subject. Rob, you are such an inspiration. Thank you. And thank you, WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. Because of you, I'm able to share these beautiful stories and have that inspirational type of person on here. So thank you for allowing me to share all this.
And let them know they can repeat it. If it's
I will.
Oh, sorry. That's the dad in me still. Okay.
All right, everyone. We're going to be wrapping everything up. I just want to say thank you so much, Dad. You are an inspiration. Thank you for all your life lessons, and and thank you, Mom. I give you a shout out because it takes two. And a shout out to my beautiful sister. Thank you for your love and support, and my fiance, Anthony, aka Tony. Thank you. I love you, and thank you for all your support. And I'm Elana. You can join me bi-weekly at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, beginning to raise your vibration, heart, body, mind, and soul. And, we are on WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, radio, TV, and podcast, #1 internet singles talk network. And your health vibes with Elana. And we are here today with my dad, Rob Feldman, and you can reach out to him 562-225-7356 and also 562-225-7355 or info@debbieandrobfeldman.com. Thank you so much for being here. I love you. I honor you. I see you. Is there anything else, Dad, that you would want to
No,
say at the
and
beginning of heart?
if you don't have a moment, you can certainly go on with the other platforms.
Yeah, there's plenty of other platforms. If you weren't able to see this, it will be on repeat. And also, any other men who would love to join my group, Navigating Prostate Cancer, Emotional Support with me, please reach out and I'm here for you. I love you. Bye for now.